Hey, welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. Today, I'm Brad. By the way, we're reviewing the Red Wings game after every period. So right now, the game's about to start. It is 7:05 right before the Philadelphia Flyers versus the Detroit Red Wings. And my mic is not working, so we are currently just using the mic here. So hopefully this turns out really well. But again, this is before the game, so I have not watched the game yet. So what's gonna happen is that we'll go watch the game for the first period. I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna record my review of the game that first period that happened. And so you're gonna get basically my reactions as they're happening. It's a little bit better than a live stream that way you don't have to watch 2.5, 3 hours of me, but it's more of a quick shots. I can run through stuff. Probably video probably might take an hour. We'll find out. So it definitely will take 18 minutes between each period because that's see how long the intermission is. But if you're new to the channel, hit like, subscribe, put your favorite comment down below. I really appreciate it. It helps out small creators like me. And hopefully the audio is coming back. I'm going to get a new microphone so that way it comes back. You check out my other videos, which you can because I've been recording a podcast a day every day for the last 29 days. Today's number 29. So this is my next podcast that I've done. So check those out if you can. Hit like, subscribe on those, or subscribe on the videos. You know what I mean? Just put comments in there. Again, it helps small creators like me. And I'm also available on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon, and all that jazz. So if you want to go check those out as well, that'd be great. But if you're on YouTube, say hi, say what's up. And again, so we're going to jump. This next jump cut is going to be me after the first period. So I will see you guys in a period or so. All right. Bye, guys. See you in a sec. All right, we're back. The first period is now happening. Flyers versus Detroit Red Wings. So I found Talbot starts. We got Albert Johansson in for Justin Hall. Albert Johansson, Hall is out. Hall is out. Johansson is in. Fisher is in for Tyler Mott, which I think was a bad choice. I honestly think Tyler Mott has been one of the best energy guys here. I think he's super underrated. And I would say if you want to bring Christian Fischer, who is a great penalty killer, by the way, I understand why, and I like Christian Fischer. So it's nothing against Christian Fischer, but I was like, okay, maybe you scratch Joe Veleno then. But again, Joe Veleno can play center, but so can Christian Fischer. And Joe Veleno is a little more expensive. And to me, I think Fischer may be a guy you can sign again for a 1-year deal, again a cheap 1-year deal. In my opinion, I think they're going to try and trade Joe Veleno. So I think they're trying to scratch him the least amount because I think it'll up his trade value. That's my opinion. Is him and Rasmussen are probably some of the easier guys to move. And so I would say that you probably don't want to scratch Veleno, but I'm kind of bummed because Tyler Mott is just playing so well. He honestly works so hard every shift, and it's like you want to like encourage that, right? It's the same with Kasper. Kasper's like working so hard every shift, and so you're like, okay, dude, like this guy is like working, he's earning his time. And so to me, Tyler Mott, while as underpaid as he is, right, in the sense of that, like he's not like the highest value guy, I think he's just doing a great job. I really like his energy. So one thing I first noticed is, dude, those ads are ugly on those jerseys. IXB, it's blue, so you have the Flyer jerseys, these beautiful Flyer jerseys, and they're black, and they got the orange stripe, and you get the orange aspect, and it really pops, and you're like, man, these are beautiful looking jerseys. Like, and then you have right here, right over the right shoulder, you have IBM or IBX in blue. Like it's like a bright blue, like it's a brighter blue. It's not like you're seeing in my background. It's the one over here blue, not like up here blue. Like it was atrocious. I think it looks like if you're gonna have an ad, at least have it look like, if you look at Toronto Maple Leafs, like they're blue and white on their blue jerseys. They have a milk ad, but the milk ad is at least a white stitching, so it kind of matches with like the blue and white of the Maple Leafs. Like at least do something like that. Like Red Wings have priority, but it sticks out, but it's still red writing, right? So it just seems like, and like in their helmets they have Meyer on the side, but Meyer is like red and white. Like, so it just, to me, it looks so stupid. It's honestly, it's an abomination. There's a good reason they're going to do a rebuild because people care less. But I would be pissed if I'm pissed as a Red Wings fan, and I gotta look at this. It looks stupid. Right in the first period, we saw Gustafsson, and I have all the hate. I'm so frustrated with Gustafsson. I want him to be better. I know he's not going to be like some defensive dynamo, but like to me, he was following Owen Tippett down into the corner of the Red Wings place, and he got walked. Owen Tippett hit the brakes hard, and then suddenly Gustafsson kept going, and he was gone for like 6, 7, 8 feet. Like, dude, like, come on, like. And then it just like opens up and opens him up and gives him so much time to like make a move, pass it across. Like I was so frustrated with that, and because it was a poor defensive play. Like he didn't walk on his guy. He should have stayed on his hip a little closer. I think he was trying to get around him. Like he was already beat. So like, dude, like I don't know, a bit frustrating with that. Also like Kane was playing with Rasmussen and Kasper, to mind you, like Red Wings need to get Kane going. They absolutely do. So and the problem is that Kane's especially like power play with like really high skilled guys who are really capable. And I think Kasper's up there. It's not like a high skill guy, like not a Raymond or a DeBrincat or a Larkin, but like why would you break up like that line? The DeBrincat Raymond Larkin line is the only line that is reliably scoring, reliably putting up points. So you don't really want to break that up. And just it looks like Kane's kind of like he had a little bit of injury at the start of the year. And so it kind of looks like he's a step behind. And I understand like it takes a minute for like older guys to get going. And we saw that last year. Like it took him a little bit to get going, and then suddenly it started to get going. And this year just hasn't looked the same, and you really need to get him going. And so I think playing with an energy guy, an aggressive player like Rasmussen, who is willing to go down and get dirty and fetch the pucks for you. So to me, and same with Kasper. Kasper's willing to go down and get dirty, play along the boards, chip after the pucks better, and get them to Kane. I think that's huge. And then Kane can do whatever he wants with it, right? He can put it on your stick. And so I can see the thought process on that. But again, you're gonna need power play to be able to get this guy going, because you need to spark him. And he looks miserable, man. And it's really sad, honestly, because you want him to perform well. You want the Red Wings, like if he does well, the Red Wings perform well, and like you want that because that's like it's good for Kane, it's good for the team. So we'll see. I saw a good forecheck by Sherratt. So Cat was up at the boards, and then passed it back to Sherratt, and he put it up. And Arison ended up stopping it, but it was a good forecheck. And I think Sherratt does have some good qualities, and I think he's not a perfect defenseman, right? He's definitely at this point more of a third pair defenseman. To me, fringe second pair. Like maybe on a team like this, he's kind of second pair, but like. He's so aggressive and so tough that you want him in like tough scenarios. You don't want him in like offensive pushes. That's just not his specialty. Like that's more for Petrie, right? So you would on a more offensive put. And the problem is you match them together. Like Sherratt wants to go up, but so does Petrie. And I don't trust Petrie on the defensive side. I trust him more on the offensive side to go up. But Sherratt also wants to go up. So who's covering the back? Oh, it's Petrie. You're like, oh, dude. And mind you, Petrie did have there was a good 2-on-1 with Petrie on the back, going back. Michkov was coming down the left side, and he slowed down. And Petrie did a good job cutting out the pass as much as possible. He did a pretty good job, honestly. Michkov just passed it really slow to the guy across from him, and Talbot was able to get across and make the stop. So Petrie did his job properly. He was, cutting out the pass as much as possible and giving the doubt to an unconfident rookie. I don't know if that would have worked on like a guy like Konechny, but like a less, I would say unconfident Michkov. I'd say a less confident rookie in Michkov. So that Petrie did a good move, and I will hate on Petrie as well. I'm ready for the Petrie experiment to be done too. I mean, it was a good trade to start. It was like a good gamble. You're like, oh, this guy was great in the Stanley Cup Finals with Montreal. Or Stanley Cup run with Montreal, like same with Sherratt. I understand why you signed those guys originally. And for like 2.3 million, you're like, oh, I'll take a flyer on Petrie for like 2.3 million. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I also have that there was a good Raymond, a really good stick lift in the Flyers zone. Like I think this guy's gonna be a star. I'm honestly pretty excited about it because he's looking better and better like throughout the season, and he's just like 22 years old, and he's so young, and he's just gonna continue to get better. And that contract's gonna age like fine wine, dude. A huge leader on this team. I think it's just good to see the young guns, just like guys like that. It's good to see because you're like, oh, dude, you're gonna be the future. Like you are the future. So like it's good to see you continue to perform. And speaking of that, I'm gonna skip past a little bit because it's a little bit lower. Sider's been kind of he's playing really well overall, I'd say. But there's like 1 or 2 times a game where he tries to be fancy or he overthinks it. And so there's a point, and I'm skipping ahead, by the way. So with Seider, he's behind the net and he's got a guy to his left and a guy to his right. And so Seider turns to his left because Edmonds is behind the guy on his left. He tries to chip it on the boards to like bounce it around the guy and then go to Edvinsson. Well, he messes it up. He fucks it up, let's be honest. He fucks it up. And then the flyer player catches the puck, passes it around Seider. Now Seider's chasing the other guy on his right side. He's chasing him. And then the guy throws it on net, and there's a bit of a scramble in front, and like, and there's ended up being a stoppage, but like it was the chaos of like the Flyers in the net, and oh my god, you're bumbling it, and that was led by Seider, who messed it up. Now I love Seider. My wife calls him Baby Seider. We're huge fans of Seider, but that was a little disappointing. So I hope he cleans that up in the second and third period. We're going. Actually, it was crazy. There was like 7 minutes without a whistle. I feel like we just breezed through this whole period. It was like a 30-minute period, dude. In a 20 minutes period in 30 minutes plus that was plus commercials and everything, dude. It was honestly a bit wild. So Trot was carrying the puck and got stick check and lost possession. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't trust Sherratt to be the guy who goes up, and he's not a Quinn Hughes. He's not an Erik Karlsson. He's not a guy that's leading those types of charges where he's capable enough. He's kind of a tough brewing guy, which is great. He actually would be a great flyer, by the way. Sherratt would be with big hits and the aggression and everything. And I was disappointed in Sherratt. Not surprised, but again, it was very third pair defense like move. And I was like, ugh, don't love that, right? Like, maybe you need to put a Sherratt with like Albert Johansson because he's so defensively responsible, right? And then you do like a Petrie Hall, maybe. I don't know, like something along those lines. I really would love Ole Mata back, but there's honestly no room for him, unfortunately. Then Kane was going on a 2-on-1, and York was back, and York stripped Kane the puck. And I was like, dude, what are you doing, Kane? You're Patrick Kane. You don't get stripped. That's like stripping like Pavel Datsyuk. And to me, I'm like, that's where I was like, it's getting a little sad. Like, what are you doing? You're Patrick Kane. Like, mind he was on the left side, so maybe that's what threw him off because Kane just plays the right side. I was like, you're Patrick Kane. Like, what's happening, bro? Like, what's happening? He's right-handed, so York caught him on his backhand and everything. It's just, but I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Whatever definitely for the millennial kids who had their parents say that to them, right? And then Kasper had a great play behind the Red Wings net, stole the puck from Flyer and was able to clear it to the blue line. They had to keep it in the zone, but it was a really good play by Kasper, who I think is getting a lot of hate recently, but overall his defensive play is pretty good. The offensive numbers aren't there, but I think Kopp and Kasper, while overpaid, Kasper looked better last year, was kind of making. He was justifying his pay last year. This year it's less so, and I'm like, okay, like I need you to like put a little more points in, and I'd like you to be a 2C, but it looks like probably Kasper's going to be that 2C for the rest of the year, with Kopp and Kasper kind of rotating in those, and we'll see. But Kasper did have a good defensive play, and I respect that because if you're not going to put up points, you better be damn good offense or defensively. Larkin did a great job covering his man. In front of Talbot. Yeah, Larkin was following his guy. He had a stick or his like every time the guy shifted, like Larkin was with him at his body. He did a phenomenal job, and I was like, that's a really underrated skill that like you have Larkin who's able to cover his guy so well in front of the net, not let his guy get away. And again, that's the point of being like a centerman. But it was like, I was like what I saw with Gustafsson getting like losing Tippett at the start of the first period. Like Larkin keeping on his guy right in front of the net, and the guy was back forth. Like he was really trying to do that, and Larkin did a great job of coverage. So I was very impressed. So, and last thing, my last takeaway is that they're not putting enough chances on this because Flyers have a weak goaltending. All three of their goalies are just not looking good. Fedotop's not looking good. Arison, and they have another, I think, Kolosov as well. Like all three goalies have been not looking great. If we look at the NHL standings with the Flyers and where they stand with goals against, they're not doing well. So where are you at? Flyers. Like they're letting 101 goals in. They're a negative 13 goal differential. In the Eastern Conference, they're tied for second last with Columbus. And and they're pretty much bottom five. They're a bottom five with goals against the league. So a team like the Red Wings, you need to just put pucks on net because the Flyers are willing to take those chances. They're really willing to put pucks on net and then create chaos in the front of the net. And the Red Wings just need to do more of that because that's their goal is shaky. Their goaltending is shaky right now. So you got to take the opportunity on that. So we're moving on to the second period. So I'll catch you in about 25, 30 minutes. See you then. All right, we're back for the second period. What a crazy 2 minutes. Like that was a nuts. Like that is just wild. If you didn't check that out, I mean, we're gonna review it. It was a crazy sequence. We're starting off York to Sanheim in the slot. It was a good save by Talbot. Right at this. I mean, York's playing down, which is good for him. Again, a little more offense from him. And like it's the Sanheim. Oh no, it's from Sanheim play down in the slot. Convert trips it across the Cobb, and it was stopped by Kolosov. By the way, a stat that Ken and Mick talked about was Rasmus Ristolainen is plus minus, which is a stat that is calculated. If your team scores, so this is not power play or penalty kill, so even strength. So there's 5 guys on 5 guys. If you're on the ice when your team scores, you get a plus. If you're out on the ice when you get a minus, or when your other team scores, you get a minus. So this guy is a negative 184 on his plus minus, which means he's 184 goals more has been scored more than he's let a lot more goals whenever he's on the ice, which is crazy. We saw Gustafsson lose a skate blade, not his fault, of course. Veleno to Fisher. So Veleno did a really good job. I thought it was smart of him. He played it from the blue lines, crossed to Fisher, and Fisher put it on net. Again, just getting those face-offs in the Flyers zone is huge. Again, you're looking for the little advantages right now, especially with a score being 1-0, frustrating. And then Ristolainen did a great job putting it on the front. He was on the right circle, shot across, hit Edvinson's skate, and Talbot sprawled to be able to catch it. And thankfully, it got batted out of the crease area. And what I've noticed is the Wings are focusing on high quality chances. They're looking for the chances. They're looking for the cross team passes and everything. And I just mentioned this earlier, right? I mentioned it earlier in the first period review. Again, we're doing this period by period, right? So I paused. We're now back, and so I said they just need to put the puck on net. Just get it on net, because right at the time of recording right now, I think the end of the second period, the Red Wings are at like 14 shots. So you're just not putting enough on the net. You want to see 10 shots per period. That's kind of the standard. If you're at 14, you should be at 20, right? That's the idea around that. And so also DeBrincat had 2 good plays where he passed it across the seam, once to Larkin and once Raymond, who both hit the net, which is good. Like putting on net and hitting goalie. Love to see that. And crazy enough, I just noticed that Berggren was playing like for 30 to 28 minutes into the period. I just noticed him. I haven't seen him at all. So where is he been, but what have you been doing? And Berggren needs to show up as an offensive guy. He needs to show up, especially in a defensive system. I need to see you back checking hard. I need to see forechecking hard. I need to see something, and I just wasn't seeing a lot. Which is not impressive and not good for if the Red Wings want to re-sign him or if they want to trade him. They want to see some value out of him. They want to see value either way, because if he's good and valuable, they'll potentially want to keep him or they'll potentially want to trade him. So either way, he should show value, because that's how you keep jobs in the NHL. Raymond also lost a skate. Edvinsson tried putting it on net from behind the goal line, and it crosses right across the crease and almost out. Flyers are doing a good job. Good job of moving the puck in the Detroit zone. I mean, they were passing a lot around the seam. This is on the 5-on-5, so a ton of passes. And it ended up. So this is where it kind of a little crazy. So it was. This is so nuts. Pulling it up. I'm going to pull up number 5 too. See who he is. Of course, I don't have the roster up. I thought I had the roster up. Anyways, the Flyers are moving around. They're going around the net, and then Red Wings are honestly, they're puck watching a lot. They're kind of moving, they're kind of jumping. Because the Flyers are getting rid of the puck super fast. They're catching it, boom, and which is great. Like, good for them, great movement. Detroit's not being aggressive enough, but again, you're kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen next? And so with that, what ends up happening? Okay, so I had to write all these down. So the defenseman shoots it down in Michkov at the circle, and Talbot saves it with his glove. Goes, slides across the left and gets it with his glove. It was a great, but it pops out, right? So that pops out. Comper tries to take it up, and there's a fly in his zone, passes it to Petrie, but it was intercepted. And then Flyers take it down all the way down, get a shot on Talbot, play stops. And this is the crazy sequence that starts. So there's a defensive. The Red Wings are in the defensive zone, or in their zone. Face-off happens. There's just kind of a little scrumble, and then it gets cleared down. Kasper and Kane are on a 2-on-1. Kasper passes across to Kane's side on the right side, but Kane airmails it. And then it flies around. There's a 2-on-1 and back on Talbot, and he gets it and saves it with his blocker. Then puck comes back around. It's a 3-on-2. Goes back to Kane. Kane's carrying it up. Kane airmails it over the net, and I'm like, dude, you're killing me. So, and then, by the way, we're not done. Then the puck goes and then it gets passed up to Couturier. Sean Couturier, their captain, by the way. He gets a breakaway, and then Talbot saves it, and they're like, holy crap, dude. And that was a great save. Kind of bounces around, and then there's another play. There's a full-blown and the Flyers get it again, and they hit the crossbar. It was just like back and forth. It was crazy giveaways, crazy control of the puck. It was just passing all around. It was honestly, it was a bit of chaos. And I'm like, my head's spinning. I'm not even drinking or anything. And I'm just like, this is nuts. And then, of course, Red Wings are down in the Flyers zone. They're breaking in. Edvinsson's taking it, grabs it, and he's coming down the wall, right? And he's like, okay, I'm kind of getting blocked. I'm going to drop it back, right? Back to the blue line. Well, no one's there. No one's at the blue line. Lawton catches it, speeds down the ice, comes on the right side, rips, gets his stick, and fucking pop, slap shot, top right, bar down. It was honestly, it was a phenomenal. You don't see slap shots on breakaways like that. It was a phenomenal goal. Very disappointed that happened. It was a huge mistake by Edvinsson because it was a huge misstep by whoever's supposed to drop back in that case. I don't know who was playing the left wing, but I would say it's kind of more on Edvinsson, because Edvinsson should be able to see as he's driving down the boards. He should see that on his right, you have the center who's playing center, right? He's playing in the seam, in the slot. And then he should be going up and seeing that he's a left winger. I think he's thinking that his right defenseman is going to come over, be able to catch the puck, but no one. And then your right winger would come back and cover the right side. So like there should be a rotation. So this is where it's either, I'm talking about this is either a schematics or strategy wise that was not properly played out, where Edvinsson played the high. So it was Edvinsson's fault in the sense that he passed it back and no one was there. Was it drawn up that when Edvinsson or a defenseman goes up, the other defenseman moves across, and then the winger drops back? Because at the blue line, that would make sense. That way you still have coverage on both ends of the blue line. So was that on his D partner? I don't know who was out there at that time. I don't know if it was Hall or if it was Johansson or if it was Seider. But whoever it was on that right side should move over. So, because Edvinsson's going up, you need to get coverage, right? Either that or the center drops back. One of those two. But either way, if you need the coach, this is it now. Now it is Edvinsson's fault, but it's now on the coaching staff's fault that maybe they were taught this, but coaching needs to be like, hey guys, that was great. We want to see because the idea around it is that you want Edvinsson to continue to develop. You like the plays like that. That's a cool play. You want to see the aggression. He's a rookie, right? A relative rookie. He's a young kid. You want to see those types of things. You want to see him be able to carry the puck into the zone. You want to see him dangle. You want to see him work it. And so you need to create schemes around that so that you can help encourage good behavior. What Edvinsson did wasn't bad behavior. It was a good thing. He was carrying the puck up, and if he dropped it back to a D-man who was there, D-man goes there because now Edvinsson's pulling guys down to the left corner, pass it back to the top of the left, at the blue line, top left, go to the right, either shoot it or pass it down to the center who's gone now, taking your right wing, and then he's got a shot on the side. Like there's a good play there. It didn't work out well, and it actually worked the worst way because Lawton was there to be able to take it up and get a breakaway and actually finish on the breakaway, which is a huge bummer. Again, Philadelphia's up 1-0 in the second period. So also, side note, I was talking about the logo on the jersey for the Flyers earlier. If you look at their helmets, they got a Chevy logo. Here's what the Chevy logo is. Not yellow like normal, it's white. So it blends in. That's what it should be. That is normal, right? That is a normal thing. And that is, again, crazy, those blue patches. Also, again, I make note, Flyers are also just moving so well with the puck. Again, they're just moving it around so well. And then on a delayed penalty, they're moving around, doing a good job that Edvinsson takes on a hooking penalty. Talbot so Michkov, the cojones on this kid. Kid takes it. He's walking down the right side, walking behind, and he's left-handed, right? So he's skating over here. He's skating, right? Coming back, skating, and then he goes and he pulls up for, guess what? The team that you're versing is from where? The Michigan. Takes it and kind of pulls up and tries to get it on that top right corner. But guess what? Talbot saw it coming, puts up his blocker on his elbow and stops it. He would have completed it, but Talbot stops it. It's crazy that Michkov got that far and did a great job. And it's so funny because Tortorella, the coach, condemned when he was working with ESPN or TNT, whatever. He condemned Trevor Zegras for trying the Michigan, and he hates all the fancy plays. And it's so funny that the guy that is on his team that he's coaching is doing the Michigan, and I just love it. Okay, so then moving on, mind you, it was delay penalty, so Red Wings finally stop it, or you get a stoppage in play. Philly is 25th in the power play, so it's pretty bad in the power play. So it's five guys versus 4, which is power play means that the one team has 5 guys. The team is on a penalty kill, trying to get rid of the penalty, the 2 minutes, right? It has 4 guys out. Red Wings are 31st in the penalty kill, only behind the New York Islanders. And Red Wings had a historically worse power penalty kill in the NHL, historically worse penalty kill. Red Wings are 31st, but Red Wings managed to kill it off. And mind you, Edvinsson got that penalty with like 5 minutes left in the second period. And up to this point, Edvinson's already played 17 minutes in the game, which is crazy. 20 to 22 minutes is huge for a guy who's his first full season in the NHL. He's playing 17 minutes, and there's a full period left. That is awesome. We love to see the usage. It's phenomenal. And it's good that Derek Lalonde trusts him that much. And we saw it. We noted before, he's been playing with Johansson, and he's been playing with Seider. So there's something to that, right? So also on the PK, there's 2 great faceoff wins by Compher. I was able to see it, and then Sherratt was able to clear it. Again, and then now I did notice that Kane is now playing with Tarasenko and Kasper. So we're gonna take a quick break before we jump into the third period. Again, hit some ads, and then I will see you soon. So yeah, we'll jump right into it. See you in a sec.
The 24-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started at DraftKings Sportsbook. Try betting on something simple, like picking a team to win. And of course, if you're listening to this, you're probably a Red Wings fan. You can definitely bet the puck line, the total, the money line, how many goals are going to be scored, over or under. Example is most of them are coming up is at like 6. So you can be like over 6 goals or under 6 goals. I mean, you can get all the action at Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers. Get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit cpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Board in Ontario. Bet must win to receive award. Bonus bet expires 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
Just to give you a couple of stats before I got to do one more ad because I have to fit it in before the third period. But just to give you quick stats, Philadelphia has 29 shots after the second period, or after 2 periods. Red Wings only have 14. Again, we talked about this. They need to put more shots on net. Philadelphia is putting a ton of shots on net and they're not great quality chances, but again, you can pick up the garbage there. Also, Philadelphia is winning 62% of their faceoffs. That is phenomenal. Again, if you can win half of them, you're a good faceoff guy. Again, Edvinsson, we just talked about playing 17 minutes. It says 17 and a half right now. The Flyer who has played the most is Travis Sanheim. He's got 13 minutes and 50 seconds. So Edvinsson's almost played 4 minutes, like greater than their other guys. So it just shows you how much they rely on him, and it's so cool to see. So by the way, I'm now surprised he's not going to make. I mean, he's definitely going to make a push for the Olympics for Sweden. So hopefully he makes it. We'll see. But jump into the ad, and then we'll go into the third period. Let's go.
You know what that sound is? That's the sound of ice skates skating on the ice at your favorite team's hockey game. You know, there's nothing like the excitement of being at a game, the crowd, the energy, the roar, the chants, the songs. It's just so much to it. And the best way you're going to be able to find an amazing seat and an amazing game is going to be at Game Time. Game Time also has this new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff and shows you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. And my wife and I were actually end up going to a Detroit Red Wings game on December 2nd, I believe it is. That's one that we're looking at, and talk about a super deal. And you can actually find any concert tickets there. You can do comedy. There's so many different options there. They also have curated deals to make it easier to find the best deals on great seats. And also you can see the view of your seat before you buy. You have a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection as well. One thing I really enjoy about it is the all-in pricing. Toggle this feature to show the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. So you can also get a panoramic, again, talking about your view, it's a panoramic view. You can see the sea, not just like we're looking at the stage. You get the full panoramic view. And they also have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And so take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Oh, sorry. We're going watching the game right now, but I'll continue in a little bit. All right, finishing off the third period. Red Wings lost. I don't know if you need to know this, but we're gonna go to the third period. And actually, there's a couple of good things that happened there. Honestly, it looks like the Red Wings actually started to try in the last 10 minutes. Which I thought was interesting at the start, right like 3 seconds in, Michkov gets a roughing penalty off the faceoff with the Brinkat, which I thought was kind of crazy. I mean, yeah, it was. They were a little bit roughing, but I think it was kind of a meh call. And then actually we ended up having the Philadelphia Flyers killed a good full minute of that penalty, and they I think almost got a shot off. It was Sider gets tied up in the corner and he falls down. And they noted prior to this, going into the third period, the Wings haven't scored in Wells Fargo in 10 periods. So that is 3 periods. This is one game. 3 periods is another game. And then the 2 periods the Red Wings are doing right there, that's 2.5 games. So, which is crazy. So that means they've been shut out 2 times prior to this. But But, Sherratt ends up getting the goal, so which is great, which we'll talk about in a second. Well, during the power play, Scott Laughton gets a shorthanded goal. Konecny chips it. So it was a 3-on-2. So there's two Philadelphia Flyers going back. Gustafsson's going down. He's doing the block. He was doing a good job on the block. Still, Konecny's able to chip a pass, and Laughton tips it in for his 100th goal, his second in the game. Sherratt gets a great hit behind Michkov behind the net and totally posters him. It was a good replay that kind of Mick covered on the FanDuel Sports. And then Michkov has tried 6 Michigan goals this year, which is kind of crazy. He hasn't hit one yet. And they did say that this is probably his best one so far. But again, Cam Talbot really shuts it down with that blocker. Berggren tries to go east to west. And that's the thing. Again, I mentioned this before in the second period. Like, the guys are going for quality shots, so they're going east to west, trying to get the goalie to open up and everything. But just put pucks on net. They go in, they trickle in, they go under the arm, they go above the shoulder. They bounce off a pad, and then someone picks up the garbage. It bounces off someone's skate. It hits someone's butt. That was Copp's first goal this year, was hitting off his butt. So it's just I'm stop trying east and west, because it went over so many people's pucks. Or it's like Kane airmailed two before the third period from an east to west passes. What happened was right here. Berggren went to Fisher. It jumped right over his stick. It was so many. There was another one. I think Berggren did to Veleno. It went over his stick too. It was so frustrating. Laughton drove the net. I think it was at the end of the PK, or maybe it was right after. But one thing is I saw, which I thought was really good, was Gustafsson and Johansson were playing together, and Gustafsson took a guy at the top of the blue line. So Johansson came across to Gustafsson's side, which is good because Johansson is not an offensive guy; he's a defensive guy. So he is playing more of a defensive role, and he's taking on that responsibility, which is good for his career long term. Again, this is his first season being here, so he's getting used to the pro game. And it was good to see him do a pro move like that, and he really tied up Scott Laughton with that. It was a great defensive play. So Seider had a rip from the point, and it hits Kolosov right in the chest. But again, that's what I'm asking for. Is put it on net, hits his chest, bounce in front, someone picks up the garbage, right? Hits a player, again, someone gets it, picks up the garbage. It's just that, I think that was huge. We had another one, Edvinsson hitting the point, shoots from the point, gets tipped, goes up into the boards, but bounces back to Tarasenko on the right side, because you know why? They put it on net, right? It was a crazy bounce. Tarasenko got an opportunity to try and tag it between the left side of Kolosov, because Kolosov was on Vegas. He's a player too. Kolosov. Again, it was a good opportunity. It was a good chance, because it was hey, go for bounces here. Again, and with how aggressive Philly was being, you just need to get shots on, just go. You need to get quick, get rid of the puck as fast as possible, and put it on net. I put this in my notes. There's so many giveaways and takeaways. I mean, we talked about this in the second period too. There was that crazy 2-minute sequence where it was just back and forth. There was a 2-on-1, and then it was a 2-on-1, and then it was a 3-on-2, and then it was a breakaway, and then it was a shot, and then it was another breakaway, and it was just nuts. That's where Scott Laughton scores his first goal too. So again, it's 2-1 at this, or 2-0 at this point. Raymond drove the net, passed to Larkin again. Of course, like we were just talking about before, east to west, bounces over Larkin's stick, and I was like, there's no puck luck with these guys. Compher did drive the neck and tried to deke, and kind of Compher had a pretty good game overall today. I think he played pretty good defensively. I think he was getting frustrated. I think he's like, well, these guys, this top line not going to do it, then I got to try and do it. So he did. Tried deking, and it got saved, but he tried something, right? He put it on net. I wish he would have probably put it at the pad, and then it would have bounced off to someone else, right? Because guys do that, right? The guys will be on the right side, shoot it, hit the left pad, so it bounces to the left, and there'll be a guy standing there to be able to pick up the rebound. And then Flyers defend aggressively again, right? So I think Sherratt. Oh, here we go. Here we go. With 5 minutes left, I wrote this down. With 5 minutes left, I don't know if I trust the Wings to pull the. Wait, this is crazy. This is so crazy. I said with 5 minutes left, I don't know if this is 2-0. With 5 minutes left, I don't know if I trust the Wings to pull their goalie because of how aggressive the Flyers are. And wouldn't you know it, they scored 2 empty net goals. It's just crazy. Sherratt, Sherratt shoots it to the front of the net. It gets tipped, I think, by a Flyers player, and goes in. And so I actually thought it was tipped by Comfort, but I guess it wasn't. Sherratt's goal. It was the first time they scored. It was the last time Detroit scored in the Wells Fargo Center was 231 minutes had passed, which is a game of 60 minutes. So 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 31 minutes, right? It was crazy, dude. Gustafsson had a great shot. It stopped by Kolosov. It was a great pass from DeBrincat, who actually has been passing a ton, which I don't mind. Again, I know that we talk about DeBrincat being like a goal scorer, but to me, like if you're getting points, if someone's getting the goals, I don't really care who it is. Like if it's DeBrincat or it's DeBrincat's, like honestly, his assists have been going up a ton in recent years. Again, it's one of those things where he's just like prioritizing like getting the pucks to guys, and which, like I said, I'm okay. If you pass it to Raymond, he gets a goal, cool. If you pass it to Larkin, he gets a goal, cool. And DeBrincat's actually got he's got pretty much 1-1, or he's tied. He's got 12 goals, 11 assists for 23 points in 28 games. Really, Larkin and DeBrincat really need to step their game up. They should be at Larkin should be at point per game, and he's not. Raymond is at 30 points in 28 games, just killing it. He's going to do a phenomenal job on the Sweden, man. I'm so excited for him. Even Seider is 4th in scoring, which is crazy. Okay, dude. By the way, just to show you this, in the top 5, it is Raymond, DeBrincat, Larkin, Seider, Edvinsson in points, which are your top pair and your top line. Edvinsson has 13 points. Seider has 15 points. And then after that, it's like Comfort, Tarasenko, Kopp, but like those, like your second line should be scoring more. Like, what is happening? Okay. Anyways, Sherratt scores. Now it's 2-1. Great, awesome. At 1:45, Talbot is finally pulled. Again, you're losing. So like you probably should be, really getting your guys out there. You need to get some time out there, or at least get control, right? Flyers at that point in the third period, it had been 13 and a half minutes since their last shot, which I thought was good. Again, Red Wings were really shutting it down. They weren't leading any shots, but again, too little, too late. You could have done this, earlier. I forgot to change my graphics. It's the third period, and that was his third period. But you could have like shut this down earlier. Like you could have tried a little harder and gotten to this point faster. You didn't start shutting them down right at the end when you're losing, and you're like, oh my God, it's swear like these Red Wings are like, oh my God, the paper's due tomorrow. I guess I'll work on it through the night. Like that's what they're like the kid who figures out they have paper due at 8 a.m. and it's midnight, and they got to rush to figure out how to do it and do all the research and do all the work, and they're going scrambling and they're going crazy. And the problem is they're going crazy, and they are productive they were doing some stuff to get it done. Sometimes you don't get it done. And sometimes it's not you don't get what you need to get done for your paper, or in this case, the game. So Scott Laughton ends up getting an empty netter, and he gets a hat trick, it's a second hat trick of his career, and it's good for him. Like he had one last year as well. Good for him. Like I said, I'm not mad at Flyers. Flyers played so well, played so aggressive. Michkov was honestly pretty good. He did a really good job. I was honestly impressed. Flyers did a good job breaking. So, and then on that first empty netter, by the way, Flyers did a good job breaking off the wall and chipping it to center and breaking it out. It was their first shot, like I said, in the last 13 and a half minutes. And then, of course, a fourth goal. Scott Laughton scores his fourth goal on an empty net. And then he tried to give it away. I got to look up who's number 19 because I swear I just had it up. But yeah, number 19. So it was him, Laughton, and whoever was number 19 going down there, and he was trying to pass it back and forth. And so let's find out. We'll Google it real quick. NHL rosters. But anyways, I was like, oh, it was kind of nice. It was kind of adorable. The guy tried to give it away, and I was like, oh, that's very nice of him. But again, he was like, nope, here you go, you can have it. And I was like, oh, that's honestly, it was so great. It was the first time 4 goals were scored this season by any player. So, which is cool. It's a good thing for Scott Laughton, and it was actually Garnett Hathaway who ended up giving it Scott Lundblom getting that 4 goals, which is a sweet night, by the way. I mean, he still gets the assist on it, and now he's got 10 points in the season in 30 games. Again, Garnett Hathaway is not really like a big, like he's not really a big like point getter anyways. But good for him, man. Like I said, I was happy for both Garnett Hathaway and and Scott Lawton. But again, I'm just frustrated with these Red Wings. I'm like, I don't know what to do, man. Like because we've talked about this before, and if you haven't tuned in, I'll give you the abbreviated version. Like, let's say you fire Lalonde, okay? You're not going to hire a new coach because, like, if the coaches that are out there were good enough, they would have been brought in already. So you're looking at like Gerard Gallant, who's not good with young guys. You don't want to hear him. Jay Woodcroft, still a little under seasoned, I'd say. You don't like he did good with the Oilers, but you're like you've already had 2 new coaches. You kind of want a little more seasoned vet. Then you do like I think Bruce Cassidy. Bruce Boudreau. I think Bruce Boudreau would be a great, like, using to the end of the year type thing. I think he'd be a great person to bring in, but I don't know if he'd be willing to come in for just to finish off the year. So the options that are out there right now for head coaches you could bring in aren't great. When you could actually just wait till Lalonde's contract is done, which is this year, you just wait. You just wait till the end of the summer, and then end of the season, and then guys will be fired, and you can be like, oh, I have all these options now. Right, we saw that with Jim Montgomery, who gets fired, and St. Louis is like, "We'll take you. You're available. Sick." And so let's say a guy like Bruce Cassidy gets fired from the Vegas Golden Knights, right? I know Pete DeBoer, like he's out there as well. But let's say I don't know some crazy like Paul Maurice, who was the Florida Panther coach. Let's say he loses his mind. And you're like, "Yep, we'll take him." Stanley Cup winner, and everything. And you don't want to do Joel Quenneville because of the whole Chicago Blackhawks thing. Yeah, I'm good on that. I don't want that to happen. I'd rather than be worse, be bad still. And then you're like, okay, well, then what do we do? And like maybe we just bring someone, like you take one of the coaches that are here. Chicago did this. Chicago fired Luke Richardson. And then they're like, okay, we're going to make Anders Sorensen, who's already a coach on the team, and we're going to promote him from assistant to head coach, which is great. Is an interim coach, which you could do. So who do you do? Alex Tanguay. Well, he's never been a head coach in the NHL. So you're going to have a third new head coach? I don't think so. You're not going to do Jay Varangi, the goalie coach. You don't want him. Goalies are looking pretty good overall. Overall, the goalies look phenomenal. Surprisingly, Lions look good. Talbots look phenomenal. I mean, he looked great today, by the way. He had like a .941 save percentage. He saved 34 shots on 36 goals, or 34 saves on 36 shots, which is phenomenal. He only let 2 in, which is great, because they pulled him and everything. But you can't do your PP coach, Alex Tanguay, because he's too new. You can't do your goalie coach because he's doing too good of a job. You don't want to screw that up. You want him to stay focused on the goalies because they're doing well. So you're like, okay, maybe our penalty kill guy. Well, why would you? He's the only guy on staff who has head coaching experience. So, but you look at the penalty kill, the Red Wings are 31 out of 32. Like, you're saying, hey, what you do is you give promotions to people who are doing a good job. Bob Boughner is not doing a good job. Bob Boughner, the PK guy, the defensive guy, who had a great scheme with the San Jose Sharks. I think they were like top 5. I don't want him the head coach. The guys are like, what you're doing, the small department that we give you is not working. Why would we let you take over the whole operation? So I don't know. I don't know what it is. There needs to be a shakeup. There needs to be a trade or something like that. Like, I don't know who you move. I don't know what you do, man. Like, you kind of need like not a Ryan Reeves. You need someone who can kind of like, you kind of need a Jake Wallman. You need a David Perron. Like, you need leaders in this locker room. Tarasenko's not doing it. Kane's not doing it. You know who did it last year? It was Perron. Perron was the leader in the locker room when Larkin was, when trying to speak up. Perron would rally the guys. Shane Gostisbehere, Wallman was vibes guy. He rallied the troops. He was a fun dude. Shane Gostisbehere did a great job offensively, terrible defensively, great offensively, but he was putting pucks on net from the point, which what guys should be doing And look at, they did it today. They did it. Sherratt shot from the point. It got tipped off somebody and goes in. Like I've been saying for the last 3 periods. I've been saying that they just put pucks in net. Stop going east to west. Stop trying to go for the high quality. Just go and put it in the, like, put it on net. Like, I don't care if it's chest. You know who that worked for, by the way? It worked for the Philadelphia Flyers, who kept just like trying. By the way, oh, Kolosov stops it. Okay, great. You got a face off in their zone. That's a good thing. Pass back, boom, 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 boom. On net, try again, right? Like it just makes so much more sense to me. Like quantity begets quality, right? Like you put enough shots on net, like if you hit your head against the wall enough times, like you'll break your head, or you'll like it's just like, I don't know, like you will be able to break through. Mind you, like you'll make the other goalie look really good because you're putting so many shots on it, and they're making easier saves. But like if a team like the Philadelphia Flyers being so aggressive, like just put them on net. So that's my rant. I actually enjoyed doing this video. I thought it was I like that I was able to take notes. It was a little hectic. But let me know what your thoughts are on this, because I ended up recording for almost an hour anyways, which is crazy. But I had fun with this. I think it was good because I was able to take a ton of notes. I had a ton of details. I was able to talk about specific plays. And I paid a lot of attention on who it was, and I paused the game a lot more. But I think it turned out as a good video. I think so. But let me know what your thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe. Again, we're on a huge push to do a podcast today. So let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love for you to stick around. Hit subscribe, whatever you got to do. And keep coming back for more, because if you comment or you talk about it, I'll talk about it on here. I'm down. Let's go. Screw it. Love you. Catch you next one. Bye.